bit about customer relationship management and how we might be able to help you guys with that. And all throughout the webinar, please feel free to ask questions. We love answering questions, and we want to make sure that we are being as pertinent with our content as possible to you. So please go ahead and ask away. And I am Sheilin Herrick. I'm the Director of Marketing here at SOS. And the fellow you heard earlier is Derek Wood. He is our Product Manager.
Hello, everybody.
So we'll talk a bit about the industry. We'll talk about the SOS 360-degree Partner Program and some of the options we have, such as private cloud deployment, our data centers and infrastructure, features that come with the technology in the SOS 360-degree Partner Program, and customer relationship management and how we might be able to help you with that, pricing, and then finally we'll get to a product tour. And Derek will take you through that. So again, please feel free to ask questions as we go through the presentation. Don't be shy. So how does SOS Online Backup fit into the online backup industry? Presently we have over, I think it's safe to say, 1,000 value-added reseller partners now. So that's MSPs, IT Consultants, VARs, folks like you who are reselling online backup around the world. And we have reason to believe that there are going to be a whole lot more of you, and primarily those of you that are selling to businesses. The IDC recently completed a survey stating that 69% of businesses are evaluating or planning to use online backup. 16% are presently using online backup. So 69% is basically your market opportunity, which is a huge market opportunity. So it's a great time to be getting ready to sell online backup or currently selling online backup. So what is propelling online backup adoption? 4 big things. Number 1, expansion of internet bandwidth. Depending on where you are in the world, this may or may not be more advanced. Certainly in most places it's pretty easy to put large amounts of data up into the cloud and make sure that it stays there. And also decrease of hosted storage costs. So the amount of data that you put up into the cloud is increasing, and keeping it there is less expensive. So hosted storage costs are continuing to decline. Technical sophistication of the population has improved. People know what the ubiquitous cloud is, and they also pretty much understand what backup and recovery is. Though it may have transformed in recent years from tape to online and improved in its own sophistication, people generally know what it is, where that didn't used to be the case several years ago. And the size and value of digital data that we are creating is increasing as well. So we have more internet bandwidth, better internet bandwidth to put things up into the cloud, and we're creating more important data. Employees are creating very important data. We're creating data right now as we record this webinar. And we want to be able to put it up in the cloud and make sure that it's safe.
And really it's just about you all. So when we first launched to the international market in 2005, this was very much a consumer-only play. And that was because businesses just weren't sophisticated enough. Businesses moved more slowly. They weren't sure about the security of it, as Sheilin mentioned. And the massive growth we saw between 2009 and 2011 was just in the consumer market. And with the SMBs, really the best way to get into an SMB is to go through their IT provider. So rather than finding, oh, we're going to sell directly to an office manager who's shopping, it really doesn't happen that much. And as managed service providers, you get to dictate to your customers what they're going to have. It's not the break-fix model that says, all right, here are all the things we can do for you. What do you want me to do for you? It's more along the lines of, look, it just doesn't pay for me to do it that way because I'm the specialist. So in your backup solution, you're going to have A, B, C, and D, which includes SOS Online Backup, SOS Local Backup, SOS Bare Metal Backup, SOS Exchange Backup, and Cloud Backup. So it's really those types of things. You get to put the whole solution together. And what this curve looks at, and what the IDC is also saying, is that not only is the adoption per business going to start shooting through the roof as businesses adopt online backup practices, but the scope of adoption is dramatically increasing as well. Especially when you look at the bring your own device movement, where they're showing that currently 60 or 2/3 of all people have at least 2 devices they're using at work, a laptop and then some other device that they own. So how do you back up the information on those endpoints? And SOS provides you a solution all the way from those endpoints through your most important and critical server data.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Derek. So, of course, we have to address what do these businesses want, and Derek really already covered it, but this slide is designed to summarize. They're looking to back up everything, and they want to get it from one single provider. And so this is workstations, servers, laptops, and mobile devices. They want to be able to back up all of those things, even if their employees, brought them from home themselves. They want to be able to back them all up, as well they should. And so we allow you to sell that service to them.
And as we go through, if we could just get a quick survey. One, what were your costumes last night? Because that's interesting to us. I was Mario.
I wasn't anything.
Oh, Sheilin's no fun, and she's the marketing gal.
Yeah, I know. I was no fun.
All right. Well, our CEO was Darth Vader, and it was epic. So those of you in the partner community forums may be seeing some pictures later. But second is, how many of you are already providing some sort of online backup, and how many of you are looking to replace what you're currently doing in online backup? So really, what is your interest in SOS? And then we'll take that into consideration as we go through the rest of the slides here.
Yep, absolutely. We'll try to address everything as specifically to those of you on the line as possible. So what's in the SOS 360-degree Partner Program that will help you address the needs of businesses as well as residential users, as well as your own needs? We call this a business in a box, which is kind of a simplistic phrase, but it's really very true. Everything that's included in the SOS 360-degree Partner Program allows you to start selling online backup online and, of course, face-to-face in less than a week. We include a website template, which you can customize the content on if you wish. You can also use what comes pre-canned in it. You can also update SEO metadata. You can also update your billing information. You can choose the prices that you want to sell online backup for on your website. And you're allowed to make whatever margin you want to. We do not dictate that. We have many providers that are making about 60 to 70%, and we have some that are making more than that. It's completely up to you how you want to price your solution. That's the beauty of a wholesale program. We offer, of course, our award-winning online backup software. We have won PC Magazine's Editor's Choice Award 4 times in the last 6 years, which we're quite proud of. We have no hardware purchase required, so it is only a purchase of bundled online backup, as well as services such as our website integration package, which we'll talk more about. You would receive something called the Partner Resource Center, which includes rebrandable sales and marketing materials and emails. And, of course, you get weekly live trainings with yours truly, Derek Wood.
Yay.
We have a question from Michael. Michael says he has no current backup solution, online or on-premise, and obviously that needs a change. Yes, sir, it does, and we are here to help you with that. So here's a quick grid showing you how the SOS 360-degree Partner Program compares against Intronis, Doyens, Asigra, and XZ. One of the great things about us is not only do we have 12 data centers around the world, but we do allow you to host. We'll talk a bit about that in the coming slides, but we do allow for private cloud deployment or use of our public cloud in a data center of your choosing. We allow you to rebrand your client. You can put your logo on it. No co-branding, purely your logo. The website template is yours to do with as you wish, and you may also get access to our APIs if you have an existing website that you would like to employ selling online backup online with via your own merchant integration package. And of course, you can rebrand sales and marketing materials. Again, no co-branding. It's purely rebranding just for you. And of course, we offer Exchange backup, SQL backup, and Windows backup, and this is image-based backup. So a little bit more about data centers and infrastructure. We do have 12 global points of presence, and these are in Los Angeles, Dallas, Houston, Toronto, Cape Town, and Melbourne. And we may soon be having another European data center. That is, time will tell, but that may be happening. All our data centers are secured with 24/7 watch, video surveillance, biometric credential requirements, backup generators, temperature, and humidity controls. So these are all considered Tier 3 and Tier 4 data centers, which are military grade. The U.S. government would store their data in these same quality of data centers.
Right, and then again, this just shows that SOS is one of the biggest and baddest in the land being the globe. There is no other major online backup provider that has the coverage that we provide. And the turnaround time, like let's say you have an open market in Latin America somewhere, which is a big point of interest for us right now. It would only take from the time that we say we're going to erect a new data center, it would be 30 to 60 days to get that up and running. So, big markets right now for us, and for you, maybe this isn't as important, but South Africa is a big emerging market. Latin America is also a big emerging market. So South Africa, we said, hey, we need to put a data center down there. We got a few partners signed up and said, okay, let's do it. And in about 60 days, we had one up and running. And there aren't a lot of other providers that can say this. So this is a big strength of SOS and always has been, is our global presence.
So to that point, we may have 12 amazing data centers around the world. However, if you want to host your own, maybe you have a data center, maybe you want to launch one, maybe your customer wants their data backed up in their own data center, we can absolutely do that for you as well. There's a lot of opportunity in the private cloud online backup market. And Gartner, which is an analyst firm that you may be familiar with, definitely confirms this. 29% of businesses surveyed in the past year by Gartner said that they would adopt a private cloud storage model in the next 12 months. 11% were already using private cloud storage. So that's pretty massive. That's a pretty big deal. And it's definitely something that you should be paying attention to and considering to use your own data center if you've got one for your online backup clients. So who are the right private cloud backup customers? They're customers with an existing data center or that would want to use your data center, large businesses that have private cloud requirements, so they may have this requirement by their legal department or perhaps their finance department. Customers with concerns about bandwidth costs, so you may be in a region in the world where sending data outside of the country or to another part of the country to be backed up is an unrealistic cost, and you want to use a more nearby data center. You can do that. Businesses that would like to take advantage of award-winning online backup technology and encryption without significant investment. So if they want to use software but they don't want to use an off-site data center, we can definitely talk about all the virtues of off-site data centers. However, we do include the option to use our software in a private cloud deployment model if so needed. How many of you on the line are interested in hosting your own online backup solution, also known as private cloud deployment? There aren't that many out there, but it does happen. So if you do have this need, let us know, and we can talk more about it. And so what would you be able to deploy either on our public cloud or in a private cloud environment? You would be able to deploy the entire SOS Online Backup product suite. On the right-hand side of this slide, you'll see some green squares, and this addresses our SOS ServerSave product and what it will back up for you. It'll back up system data. This is all operating systems. It'll do a bare metal image and back that up to the cloud. And application data. This is SQL Server, Exchange, and SharePoint server information. And of course, our bread and butter file data, documents, images, and emails. We don't limit the types of documents or files that you can back up. You can back up whatever you want. And on the left-hand side of the diagram, you see some blue and green squares. And this is our standard file and folder product, which also is included in the SOS 360-degree Partner Program. You can back up PCs, Macs, iPhones, and Androids. So since there's a lot of detail in the SOS ServerSave product, let's talk a little bit more about that. We do like to call it a complete SMB backup solution, so a complete small to medium-sized business online backup solution. So as we talked earlier in the presentation, these customers want to back up everything and they want to be able to back it up with one provider. This is the product that's going to let you do that. It includes Exchange backup and granular recovery, bare metal image creator, which is our image-based backup product, and allows you to send those bare metal images to the cloud with Online Backup and Recovery Manager. Online Backup and Recovery Manager is what you'll also use to do your workstation backup. So this is your laptops, PCs, Macs, desktops of any kind. And of course, it includes the Premier website integration package, which allows you to sell online backup online and also take advantage of our customer management system, which we'll talk a bit about. and you will be able to have access, and your customers will be able to have access to Android and iPhone backup. So what does SOS ServerSave really compare against, and how does it compare against the standard SOS Online Backup product? It really stands out in mobile access and its unlimitedness. So you can have unlimited endpoints per account with the SOS ServerSave program and SOS Online Backup in general. Most others out there don't let you do that. We also offer transactionally consistent bare metal image backups. And this is quite different as well. Most are crash consistent, but transactionally consistent is ideal for customers who have SQL servers or other servers that are taking care of a lot of exchanging data and transaction data on a second-by-second basis. So this kind of backup allows the server and the online backup software to talk to each other, and the online backup server to be able to verify when the server is done with its transaction. So it'll only take an image when it's done with its transaction, therefore eliminating the possibility of taking a snapshot when there's data maybe missing or data in transit between two servers. So customer relationship management, how can we help you with this? As you guys probably know, as business owners, keeping track of your customers is really important. So I'll just reiterate. As your business grows, it becomes more challenging to keep track of your customers and their purchases. So what do you want to focus on keeping track of? You want to know what they bought. You want to know how to monitor their needs. And how do you get a hold of them? So how reliable is your contact information that you may have? And how do you communicate with them regularly? Let's talk about that. Keeping track of what you need to know. So what have they bought from you? Use a system that tracks recent purchases and recent orders. You don't really want to have to try to remember this or, of course, try to keep track of it by paper. After all, you're IT professionals, so you want to be able to do that electronically. How do you monitor their needs? Use a system that also includes support ticketing and consumption information. So you need to know if your customers are asking a question and if they are consuming a large or small amount of data. You may be able to offer them things preemptively if they are consuming a large amount of data. How do you get a hold of them? Make sure that you have multiple methods of contact information for customers. You may need to contact them in an emergency. So let's say that they need to do a recovery and you know that they need to do a recovery, or maybe one of their backups failed and you know that and you need to get a hold of them. You need to make sure that you have more than one method of contact for them and a place to keep all that contact information. So how do you communicate with them regularly? A basic email campaign is essential to keeping customers updated on special offers and pertinent information. So perhaps they need to be reminded that you need to come in and do an upgrade, or you need to come in and reinstall some software. This is a basic email campaign is a great way to be able to do that. Fortunately, our website integration package allows you to do that. So here's just a screenshot of something that you'll see more of later. This is an account details area. So in this area, you can see contact information, user information, when the user was created, and account information. So this includes maybe the user had canceled something in the past. Maybe you could include the cancellation reason. This will help you address their needs in the future. And also order history. And of course, plan information. So plan information is critical. And you can see a little section here that I probably should have highlighted called total usage. So this is where you'll be able to see if your customer may be getting close to their threshold or not. Are there any questions about any of that? This group has been pretty quiet today, which is kind of unusual for us. So I'd like to invite you all again to ask any questions that you may have.
All right, making money. So how do you make money in this program? Well, you go through and you sell our services with additional value adds on top of it. So the idea is that SOS is a software as a service provider. We also are a platform as a service provider if you include the security of our infrastructure, which is a big part of a backup solution. Storage solution. solutions like Box.net, Dropbox, Amazon, Google Drive, those types of things, the infrastructure is not really much of a service. It's how cheap can they get it. And that's why you see that it's consistently not a backup. And you see a lot of articles about it. So at SOS, we provide the software as a service and the platform as a service, and that's it. From there, it's up to you to add on how regularly are you managing this for your customers. We give you the monitoring tools, the remote monitoring and management. You have that ability, so you can see that backups are running, get alerts that backups have not run, get in there and fix things. You can do test recoveries. You don't have to go on site for those. You can do those from your location, so it makes it a lot simpler. So these types of things are how you would add value to the software as a service, and that's what you do as managed service providers. So we give you these prices here as kind of a estimate of if you took the packages, which are ServerSave 5, 10, 15, and 25, and if you were to take these and evenly distribute gigabytes of backup and server licenses, then this is a light model of what you could do. It's also really kind of under what we find most of our partners doing. So rather than selling something like this just for $129 a month, which is just the software as a service, we often see managed service costs on top of this. Maybe an additional $80 a month or additional $100 a month, whatever it is, just for this portion of it. And packaging that and putting those things together is something that our business development manager and team will help you do. We also have webinars to discuss how best to package services in, what other additional services you could put out there. And your partner specialists will be more than happy to go through a full ROI with you, so to go through these figures, understand your business, and how you can make money with one of these programs. We don't want to misplace you in our program and then you don't make any money. That's not good for anyone. But we do want to make sure that you're going to be optimizing your potential for making money and that this is the right program for you. All right, I'm going to open up our dashboard so you can take a look at what we have here. And I'm going to start with just pulling up our main site. So the first thing is our website is a great resource for you and our customers. Especially if you come over here and hit support, and you come in, you can see the different avenues for contacting support. We have a ticket-based system, which I always recommend, live chat, which is great to follow up on a ticket, and phone, which is great to follow up on a ticket. So even if you submit a ticket and then immediately live chat, that's the best interface. But that's not really what we're talking about today. We have a knowledge base and a community that has been very helpful. So we have public community forums. So if you have questions that maybe your rep is scheduling a call with a sales engineer, and you just want a question now or want to see how the community is dealing with something, then you can post like this guy did. Charlie, he said, okay, I'm a little confused about how this would get set up. Here's my deployment. How would I go about doing that? And then you get a response from somebody in our community or from one of us. I even posted up a little diagram of the different options he has for deployment and what that means in terms of online usage. So the community is great. Also, with the partner community, and I have to log in here. Hold on a second. Is we have a partner advisory community. The partner advisory community is a huge part of how we develop our roadmap. So as product manager, I'm here to build a tool that's good for our customers. You are our customers. So I listen to you. And we've made this has always been how we do it, but we've actually made a public community for it now that's a little more explicit in how this is done. We launched this in August. And hold on, I'm bringing it up. I'm just going to log in here. Since our launch in August we've had well over 100 requests, and as of today, we've completed about 30% of the requests that we've added to our dashboard. And we also publish our roadmap to the community. So I come in here, and you would see when you become one of our partners, is the partner support free? Yes. Yes, it is. Good question, Eric. Demetrios says that for some projects I work with resellers, how can I manage them through the interface? Is it possible? Actually, yes, and that's actually been a more and more common request is some sort of reseller management in our dashboard. And if you call on a partner specialist, they'll put you in touch with the right people to discuss how we could do that. So it's just not something I'm going to open up today because it's not that common. But Demetrios, certainly call in, and then we'll talk later. But in the partner advisory community, I actually post up the product roadmap. So things to expect, when to expect them, and I update this on a regular basis. So every 2 weeks, this gets an update so that you know what's coming. And the roadmap is based off of these feature requests. So we have 71 just in the partner section. There's another 60 or 70 in the public community. And then we mark these as planned, so we add them to our roadmap, and then done when they're actually delivered. So backup scheduled end time, this is actually now done today. More information, backup report, done. Desktop messaging to your customers, so we have some things in there. And so we have the community vote on these items. And it's been very helpful because some of the things like scheduling a backup end time. I had this originally in a delivery time frame for a rainy day, so like next January when we get around to it. But this was actually one of the more voted items, so we actually just delivered that today. So that's so it's really great to see how fast we can move because SOS is a very responsive development team. So we have, again, all of these forms so that you can take a look at what's going on. We do beta launches. So in our beta test of a new item that we have, our new product that we're calling FileWalker, actually it'll be released halfway in the next month, or into this month. So November 13th is the launch date. We had a beta, and we awarded the most popular feature request in the beta community a free iPad. So Clayton Reeves here with, you need a Mac client, and he won an iPad for that. So it's really been a great community, get a lot of good feedback from you all, and that's how we're doing it. So we rebuilt the whole dashboard to play to the needs of managed service providers. So let me log into the dashboard here for you so you can see it. So here's the dashboard, and this is the SOS portion. So you have real-time monitoring settings, so we can see what's running. So we can see, okay, this backup ran, somebody canceled this backup. You can have the backup type listed, so the image stream, which means you're backing up bare metal images. And then, live protect, which means you have a file that you've selected for a backup every time it changes. Files and folders is the standard type of backup. You can see details, so what happened. Here's the system name, the backup type, when it completed, the backup duration, the last event date before it, so before this one, how many files it uploaded or how many files it didn't upload. So this backup, there are no files that changed. So let's see, this one was canceled. So it looks like they just, let's see if we can find one that had some files uploaded. Uploaded files 1, so it gives you some information. Also, this email address gives you a daily summary of what's happening. So it gives you a daily digest of what happened at every deployment you have with your customers. We use this a lot for trials. So for example, this one says no backup during last week, and the last backup was canceled. So uploaded files, 1,300 files in 8 minutes, but then it was canceled at that point. Well, this is probably a trial that's over, so I can just say, okay, well, I don't really need to see that record anymore and just get rid of it. For the most part, as a managed service provider, you need to give monthly summaries because you're billing monthly, right? And they want to know what you're doing for them monthly. One of the worst parts about being a good managed service provider is that your customers don't realize that you're even around anymore because everything's working so nicely. So a big part of the managed service providing market is prevention. You keep things working on a regular basis. You don't wait for them to break and then the customer calls you. You fix them as you see it and probably before they see it. So you need to go to backup history, and you would type in, an account name, and soon to be added is company support, which will be later this month. Colby partner demo, I think, is the one we're looking at. And we'll hit apply. And it'll say, okay, for the last 30 days, this is what's happened. We can export this to Excel. And then Excel is going to launch, and we can, put all the numbers in here together for some pretty graphs. So you have a table. You can do, whatever you want. Oh, it's a lot of data. So you do this. And for you Excel wizards out there, just throw up a little pivot table or even a chart, which is nice and pretty, but you can do stuff, whatever you want to do. So there, total files, whatever it is. Fun stuff. So that's, you need to give monthly reporting to your customers. Got a question here from Eric. Compare you guys to Carbonite. It's a completely different objective. We have always been serving the business community, and we also specialize in rebranding to our channel. So about 75–80% of our business is through the channel, whereas Carbonite is a heavy direct consumer play, and they're not really that channel focused. So they're just completely different business models. From a service-to-service function, you're asking the product manager of SOS, so of course we're better. Some of the reasons is we have better infrastructure. It's more secure. The software that we build is more secure. It's built for security. It's not. We don't limit you. So if you go to our speed test on our website, where is it? Somewhere on the home page here, or it was. It was called Super Fast Backup. Maybe our marketing, maybe Sheilin removed it. She's gone now. I can't ask her. But anyways, a lot of the modeling is a lot different. So Carbonite's always had a model of, get as much people on, sell them unlimited accounts, but then limit what they can protect. So like a new feature for them was enabling, USB drive support. I've been using computers for quite a long time, and most of my data is sitting on external hard drives because I've had more than one computer in my life. So not being able to back up my external hard drive was simply a deal breaker for me. Those are the types of differences. We do the 3-tiered encryption procedure, so we encrypt the data locally, we transfer it over an encrypted tunnel, and then we encrypt it at rest. So it's just really built for business. And that's it. And we don't have a big marketing campaign to the consumer market like Carbonite does. They have advertisements on television now, radio, all sorts of stuff. So I would say we're just completely different players. I don't even say that we compete against them. So here we go. So the dashboard. So we give you all this stuff, the backup history stuff, the monitoring settings, just to show what you're doing there. Remote backup policies. So you can come in here and you can edit what's going on. So you have a test policy here, and you can say, okay, this is the policy name. I want it to scan all the folders on the machine, or just scan my documents, my pictures, my music folders. And then you select of those my folders, which ones. If you hit custom, then it's going to scan for custom file types. So maybe PST. What's the QuickBooks backup file? I think it's QBB for the QuickBooks backup file. Things like that. Then you set the scheduler. So you put in the Windows domain credentials to authorize the system to run when it's not logged on. Frequency of backup, hourly, daily, weekly. So you can set all this remotely now. And then the email reports, you can change that remotely as well. And that's really nice because sometimes you just don't want to see those reports anymore. Because you do get a daily summary. So there's two sources of reporting. There's the reporting directly from the PC client, which gets sent only at the end of a backup. And then there's the reporting from the dashboard, which will happen regardless of the backup running or not. So it'll tell you this backup didn't run, that type of thing. So that's what you have here. Then you have the partner resource centers. We have different sales collateral, marketing collateral, product information, release notes, different training videos. And then, of course, the web integration package, which is one of the big parts of this discussion, is what is in here. So what is the web integration package? It's a funny, terrible product name, not terribly marketable, but it describes it very well. And to best describe it, I'm going to tell you where it came from. So about 2 years ago, we were finding that we had a growing number of partners who wanted to integrate some of our APIs into their own system, and primarily into their own billing system. What we were finding is that a lot of these partners were spending somewhere around $3,000 to $5,000 and between 1 to 3 months doing this. And a lot of times what they were getting at the end wasn't exactly what they needed. It was a really basic implementation, and really shouldn't have cost more than a couple $100 and shouldn't have taken more than a couple of days. So we really saw our partners get taken advantage of by third-party developers, or simply by your own limitations. A lot of you have development experience, or at least once upon a time took a PHP class in some community college or something. Well, in your time, could take a lot of time to get this done because you got to do it when you get home. You guys work 24/7, so we understand that. So what we decided to do is we contracted with a third-party developer to use our APIs to build this web package above and beyond what any of you could really do on your own in a reasonable amount of time if it was from scratch, and give our partners the option to use this package if they didn't have those resources on hand. So we found that that's about 30% of our partners love this package. Another 30% like it, but don't really do too much online business, but they do like it, but they use it in conjunction with their main website. And then the other third goes for about, they have their own website, their own development staff, and they just take our APIs and do their own integration. So what we've done is over the years we've built this thing out to be instead of just an integration into PayPal, which is what it started as, it was just a sign-up page. Then we added a home page. Then we added an About Us page. Then we added a mailer and a support system and discount codes. And we added more payment gateway options. So now we have the options for PayGate, which is for South African partners, eWay for Australia, PayPal Standard, which is not really recommended, but it's there if that's your only option, PayPal Pro, and Authorize.net. And there's no development required. You just hit edit, you put in your keys that you would get from your respective gateway, and then you're good to go. To change pricing, it's very simple. You go to view plans, you hit edit next to a plan that you want to put up there, you change the pricing, you change the title, so the SKU title, and then you hit whether you want to bill them monthly or annually. And that's it. It's that easy. If I go to coupons, you have coupon codes. So one thing here is most of you do your work in person. You get referral. It's not really that web driven. So what's the point of having a merchant account system on the site if I don't even do that for my primary business? Extra money. So think about how many users you have downstream of your businesses. So, and that's a valid question. If you guys could all just type in real quickly, how many end users would you say are spread across all of your business customers? And as those answers come in, what you can do here is, you're on site and you're installing some backups, doing some monitoring, just saving face, or just chatting it up, keeping that relationship alive. And then you say, oh hey, for your employees, if they want a personal backup account, here's a discount code. Go to my website and sign up, and you get a 50% buddy discount. And it's really easy to set up. You say edit code, preferred customer. You do something cheesy like that. Cheap user account. That's just for you. You can put a start date and an end date. So also if you want to do like monthly specials or whatever it is, you could do that, or you could limit it to number of uses. So if you wanted to put like, oh, the first 50 users who sign up through this website get a super awesome discount of a 99% discount on the price of a plan, and that's for life. It's not just a first month. That's every month. Or you can just put, we want everyone to use this, and the percentage discount is going to be, 20% off. Oh, I hit a button. You can put 20% off, and there you go. And then when they go to the sign-up page, let me see if we have this. I want to fill out this too. Then you just get a simple discount. So here's your coupon code, and you'd say, okay, preferred customer. Okay, this is invalid. Did I type it wrong? Oh, employee. My bad. And it tells you how much money you saved. So it's a nice way to make a little extra cash. End users, you're typically looking at them paying somewhere between $50 and $100 per year for an average backup plan. They need about 50 gigs usually. So you would sell it pretty close to cost, not a whole lot of margin, but some extra money. And at the end of the year, if you have a lot of end users, Eric says 30. Do you mean 30 per business or 30 total? Usually if you have, maybe 5 to 10 businesses you serve, and they have between 5 and 25 users, you got a couple hundred people you can reach out to. Or even you can put some flyers. So you can, if you have local colleges nearby, one of the big things is, are you backing up your kids' schoolwork? I can't tell you how many times we hear stories about, losing, my dog ate my homework type of thing, right? So laptops break, they get stolen, kids leave them in the library, they get stolen to libraries all the time. So it's really important to make sure that you're keeping that academic integrity in place by having online backup as part of your regular regimen. I mean, I remember when I was in school, desktops were standard. Laptops weren't really that prevalent yet, but I had a data loss from my hard drive, and I was doing backups, every quarter. So every quarter I ran backups to CDs, and I thought I was pretty good about that. But then, right in the middle of finals, right before the end of a quarter, my drive failed, and I lost a whole quarter's worth of work, photos, and I had to spend the next, three straight days in the library, one day just to try to get a computer, and the next 2 just trying to catch up to what I was working on. So there are a lot of ways where you can make some additional revenue with this web package that maybe you wouldn't have done before because of the cost of getting some type of integration like this done. But now you have it, and it's really simple. And if you need anything else, you can go right to our partner, Right Now Web Design, and let's say like you want some help in the CSS editor. So you have this whole content management system, so you can change the copy on the website, and you can change all the wording and all that information. So here's what it looks like in the editor. There's also a CSS editor portion here. So if you're like me and you don't know CSS, you can be dangerous. You can come in here and you can change some hex color codes. You can change some font families and fonts that are used in the site, maybe some nav sizing and all that good stuff. But you really need someone who knows CSS to come in here and give you a nice, like a completely unique look and feel. And if you don't have anyone, Right Now Web, they've been a partner of ours for 2 years now, very trusted. We love how they work with our customers. and we get nothing but good feedback from working with them. And a lot of our partners end up getting other web work done with them outside of just for SOS. So, you know, if you need some web work, these are your guys. Any questions on the portals and the tools we give you? There's also, and as those come in, there's also a nice mailer tool. So you come in here and you get your mailer dashboard. No mails from the system. Mailer statistics. So you actually get a nice little Java-based graphing system that shows you your different campaigns. So if you want to see a campaign that you sent out for, back to school special, protect your students' work with SOS Online Backup. You can back up data from Androids, iPhones, PCs, Macs. Make sure your students' work is protected. People were paying thousands and thousands of dollars to send their kids to school. They didn't make sure that their kid's not going to, flunk because they lost some data. It's a really easy way to protect them from that. Academic integrity. Or you can have another campaign for just, cleanup. I'm sure, and unfortunately, I know I had a lot of family in New Jersey for this last hurricane, and they're still trying to, just get power back. So that's going to be a big part of people reviewing what they were doing for backup previously, because a lot of them may not have had good solutions, or their solutions weren't off-site, and they're going to be hurt by this, and they're going to have to reevaluate how they're going about their backup solutions. So maybe you have a campaign that just says, hey, we understand this is a big mishap. We're having a special right now. You get a free evaluation for a new backup strategy and solution, and a 20% discount when you sign or something, and then you put out some pricing, whatever you want to do. But there are different ways that you can use this tool. They have campaigns. And to get the subscribers in here, you could have view subscribers, and you just upload a CSV file, so comma separated values. So it's just name, comma, email. And you can do that in Excel. It's just 2 columns and then export it as a CSV. And then you upload it, and then you choose the group that you want to upload it to. And then you have an email campaign. So for those of you who don't already have mail tools, we got one for you. So again, these are tools for you to use. You don't have to use them. You can use your own stuff if you already have it set up. But we found that a solid third of our partners that we were attracting and bringing onto market, the business side of adding a new service was costing a lot of money and a lot of time. And with technology and new services like this, your time to market is critical. You need to get in the market as soon as you can to get your share of that pie. So that's the SOS mantras for how we're going to get you up and running. So call in to our partner specialists. Again, 877-896-3611, extension 1. You're going to talk to one of our partner specialists. They're going to talk to you about your business, talk about different campaigns you can run to end users, run just to your businesses, anything that you like to. We also have a business development management team headed by Mike Zarudny, who will help you further your goals so that you can really start making money. Because it's in our best interest that you make money, because that's when we make money. So we're in this together, and we're in it to win it. So again, my name is Derek Wood, partner or product manager here at SOS, and it's been a pleasure. And I'll open it up to Q&A for the rest of the session, and we'll go from there. All right, one question about BDR. Do you guys do a BDR solution? It's a great question. So the BDR solution, I'm going to pull up our knowledge base for this actually. So BDR, do you mean a business disaster recovery? So one thing that you could look at is like, what can we do if you have questions? We have this guide, so if you search guide or anything, this guide goes through it all. So this is really it's a knowledge-based article that's really just a a guide, and it links to more specific knowledge-based articles as well. And what's also great about the way we use these forums is that you can comment on these. So if you see something that's not really that consistent or not that clear, you can comment on it, and then we'll get back to you with a fix or clarification or whatever it is. But to go through this portion, you have the SOS solution really includes 3 main applications. When you sign up with us, you're getting Image Creator, which is a tool for creating bare metal images. So you select a specific partition, and then you set a schedule. You select a destination, preferably some sort of staging machine, and then you run bare metal images to that staging machine. Then the second tool is the Online Backup and Recovery Manager. This is where you take that bare metal image as well as any user files from workstations and laptops, or even from file servers, and you take them to the SOS cloud. And then there's the mobile applications, which I've included just a separate one, but then there's also Exchange Granular Recovery. So every license you have includes a license for bare metal image creation and Exchange Granular Recovery. We found that in the market, you often had a lot of these plugins that you had to buy. So the marketing would be, you could do this, 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 and this. It's awesome. Come buy now. But then it's only $1,000. For backup exec, for example. And it is true, it is $1,000. But then if you want Exchange Granular Recovery, you got to buy an add-on for the backup agent. And that's just a backup exchange. And then if you want to still granularly recover different objects within the Exchange database, you have to buy that plugin. And by the time you're done with it, it's a few $1,000s. A lot of these services also require that you buy their hardware. For the most part, it's just rebranded hardware. We've had a lot of hardware companies pitch us on, rebranding their hardware solutions and creating our own backup appliance, the staging machine. But, we're a software company at heart. We have a platform as a service in our data centers, but we really want to build software that's flexible enough for you all to use whatever hardware you like. So if we go to the staging machine, that scares a lot of people, but if cost is really an issue and your customers don't have a lot of money to spend on this, we put a recommended $300 box that you can use. And this is it's a recommended strategy, right? You don't need it, but it's something that we really recommend for a full backup solution with the SOS program. And so we're here to help you out. It's a good question. And BDR in the market, I didn't comment on that, is really a mismarketed and mislabeled thing. It primarily refers to just bare metal recovery and backup. But that's not a business disaster recovery solution. It's just one strategy. SOS is giving you multiple strategies of backup. Take the images to a local location, take those images off-site, take just flat files to a local location, take just flat files off-site. You can get endpoint protection by installing this on all of your laptops and workstations. And trust me, even though you think, oh, we're on terminal services, there is such a huge advantage to installing or giving an end user essentially their own backup to run directly from their machine. Sure, it's a little duplicative, but that's what backup's all about. Backup's about having a belt and suspenders approach. It's about having fail-safes for your fail-safe. That's one of the Gulf oil spill, because there wasn't a fail-safe for that one pin at the very bottom of the well. And that was, and they said in their risk registry, they said, well, the odds of this happening are so small that it's not worth us doing anything about it, but the impact should have been enough to do something about it, right? Because that's how you do a risk registry. But anyways, it's about having that beneficial, backup from each location. Good question from Emmy. What about social media data? Is it possible to get a backup from all accounts? So social media, so we did have a slide about our cloud backup services. So that's still an experimental set of services that we don't have yet launched to our partners. But we do plan on backing up, Google Drive. Right now we have the experimental one we have out in the market is the Facebook backup application. But we want to be able to back up Facebook, Twitter, Google Drive, all those things. And we'll become more of a medium for different storage networks. Because again, storage is not backup. They're very different in their focus. Storage is about cheap and easy. Backup is about secure and the right way. So, those of you who, any project you go through, any customer, they say, well, what kind of backup solution do you want? It's like, well, we can do this the cheap and easy way, or we can do this the right way. You guys know what I'm talking about. Phone number, let me put that in again. So it's 877-896-3611, extension 1, and get into our partner specialists. Emmy, did that answer your question? I think we got some hands raised, but just Steve, your name looks familiar. I feel like you looked at us a while back, but maybe you just have a familiar name. Steve, what's your question? Oh, great, Emmy. So what do you think? Does this look like a pretty good solution? Have you tried it already? Are you going to try it? What's going on? You're going to try it? That's good. Well, a couple people are going to try it. Okay. Didn't hear from any. Michael says he's most interested in the SQL backup solutions. So right now, all of our database backup strategies are with Image Creator, which is we partnered up and did integration with Shadow Protect. So you select the partition that your SQL or your Exchange database is sitting on, and then you run a backup of it. And I take a look at this article too. Again, the installation and user guide. So just type in guide in our knowledge base. You all have access to this. So there's, you don't have to be a partner to use our forums. So you have the installation and user guide, and you can see all this stuff. So if we want to do a hardware independent restore, what's our options for that? This is a great article if you go back to the main knowledge base, and under the public community forums and under partner forum, I have ServerSave versus file and folder backup on SDS. And this was pretty good because this guy put out how he has everything set up and how it would work in his environment. And it's a little different as far as when you start going off-site, you have to be more specific in what data is on each partition, because you have to now account for a slower recovery process. Demetrius asked a question, when a customer buys from our rebranded website, does he pay for a whole year or monthly? If monthly, the charge is charged recurring automatically. It's setting up recurring billing for both monthly or annual options. So you can sell either. I would recommend, if it's your business clients, do it monthly, because you should be setting them up for a monthly service package, and you might not even use this to bill your business customers. But for end users, we actually just bill on an annual basis. I'm not even sure we offer a monthly option. So we just say, look, just pay for the year. It's $50. Here you go. Or I think it's $90. So we're actually one of the most expensive when it comes to that. And make sure you talk to your partner specialist about that. If the consumer play is a big play of yours, we have some different models for you that might work out better. So the primary model, the Server 5, 10, 15, 25, that's the idea that you're serving, that this is going out to businesses. So if you have a large consumer part of your business you want to sell to, make sure you make that clear with your partner specialist so that they can put your program together just for you. They can do that. Dan asks, does this integrate with ADN? ADN? I've never even heard of that. Is that some RMM or PSA? Billing software. No, haven't heard of that before. But again, if you go to our customer right now, our partner right now, Web Design, and you need some integration done with another gateway or some other system, you can contact them and tell them that you're becoming a partner with SOS, and you're going to get a great deal with them. So they'll quote you out and let you know if they can do it. All right, Emmy has a question. If we suddenly have a huge amount of data and we haven't bought enough space, does the company increase our space immediately? So for the end users, we have a soft enforcement of backup size of the account and what you can back up, meaning you'll get an alert that shows that your users are overdrawn. So where's my dashboard? I go to view customers, and then it shows me, in a percentage what they're using of their data. So it looks like Chrome is not showing the pretty graph. So like you can have users that are using, well over their account quota, but it's a soft enforcement because our take is if you suddenly have a lot of data, it's important and it needs to be protected. And from a consumer standpoint, sure, you would enforce this. But from a business standpoint, it's really too risky to stop a backup simply because your customer is doing what we expect them to do, which is increase their data set. So one of the things is that's also a selling strategy. You never want to sell a customer, within 5 gigs of accuracy what they need for backup, or even within 10 gigs. That's not how this game is played. Sell 5 packages. You have a 10 gig package for an individual user, 25 for maybe a couple users, 50 for a business group, 100, 200, 500. You don't sell in increments any more than that. And that's also in our Getting Started guide. If you just type in, it's linked in your delivery when we deliver your website and everything to you. You Getting Started here. We actually have recommended sizes to put here. So you really just don't want to. You don't want to have to always be upgrading people, and you just make it so that this is how it works out. It'll make your life simpler. It'll make the sales simpler. I mean, it's such a waste of effort to manage data to within 10 gigs of accuracy. Just have 5 different plans you can get and charge them for it. For the most part, your monthly charge is going to be based on the type of environment it is and what you're managing. If it's a file server, that's a lot easier than managing an Exchange server. So your management cost is going to be a lot different. So, Emmy, answer your question is no, it doesn't automatically do that, but you'll see it in your management, and this will also become part of the reporting later on, and then you can come in here and you can upgrade the account. Or you can go talk to the customer and make sure that, hey, I noticed that you just doubled the size of your backup account. Is somebody using this where they shouldn't be, or is this good to go? And that's it. Also, we have mass deployment options, so MSI, so you can program that with an MST. So if you need to deploy this across, a couple hundred workstations or even like 20 workstations, you could plug in the Windows admin credentials, backup account, and then silently deploy this across your network. And then you can manage it from here. All right, good questions. I think we'll end there. I hope that was helpful for everyone. Again, my name is Derek Wood. I'm the product manager here at SOS. Feel free to hit us up on the forums. When you go to the forums, you're not only communicating with our community, but you're communicating with myself, our CEO, Ken Shaw. Ken is actually probably one of the most frequent posters on the forums. He's always on them, and he loves to answer your questions. So if you want any questions specifically for Ken, you can do that. So that's a great access that we give you. We're really a flat style of management here, so we get access to from our customers to our CEO, which is pretty awesome for you all. So again, thank you for your time, and we look forward to it. Cheers.